Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sonnet with Sonnet's Garden Blooms. I want to thank you all for stopping by. Now in today's video, we are doing some fall DIYs. It took a little bit. It took a little bit. I finally got the fall vibes going on, so I hope this inspires you as well. And I love working with that new decoupage paper that I am now carrying, Roycycled Papers. I'm absolutely loving that. So in today's video, I did use the Roycycled paper. So I hope you enjoy and get inspired for fall like I did.
For our first project, I found this riser and I thought it was super cute, but very plain. And I decided I wanted to add something to it. So we are taking a Roycycled decoupage paper, and in today's video, we are going to use all three of those items. But for the riser, what we're going to do is we're going to start off by painting the top white. So I'm using DIY's White Swan, and anytime you're using decoupage paper, it is recommended that you have a white background to really make the image and the color of the paper pop. So I'm applying one even coat to the top of this riser. So now that it's dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take the paper, we're going to cut out the truck. I thought that would be a really cool image to have on top of the riser and be sitting like in a display or on, a coffee table or wherever you'd want it. So what we're going to do is just cut out the truck, and we're going to use that for this project and then save those other two images for two other projects in today's video. So for starters, what I want to do is just lay the image down, figure out where I want it, and I can see the edge around the white. And so I took my fingernail and I kind of made a mark around it. We're going to start off by applying liquid patina, and this is a DIY product that I absolutely love using for decoupaging. And all the products such as the paints, the patinas, the Roycycled papers can be found on my website to purchase. But now I just apply a nice even layer of the liquid patina, and I'm going to work in small sections to prevent a lot of wrinkles and tearing. You just want to start working in little sections when you're using the decoupage paper, and you're going to want to make sure that your layer of patina or whatever you're using is just nice and even. So that is what I'm doing here now. Once that is done, then what I'm going to do is pick up the paper and I am going to lay it down and just start smoothing it out and working my way over. And I'm just going to continue on with this. I'm just going to, like I said, lay a little bit more of the patina down and work my way. Now I'm using my fingers to do this. Another process you can do is take saran wrap in a ball and rub it to try to get out any of the wrinkles as well, without tearing any of the decoupage paper. Now what I'm going to do is take my sanding block and I am going to start sanding the edge to remove any of the excess paper here. And by doing it this way, it's allowing just a real nice clean line, and you're not pulling the paper off of the actual riser, you're just going away from it. And that is, once I've learned this technique, when I'm trying to get rid of that excess paper, it's so smooth. And I'm going to do that all the way around, and then we're going to finish the top with a nice even coat of liquid patina. So here it is, folks. I absolutely love how this is turning out. And like I said, we're just going to apply to seal the whole piece in. We're going to apply one nice even coat of liquid patina to the entire top of the decoupage paper. After that, then I want to finish this project. I want to make the greens in this pop. So we're going to start painting the legs. So I decided to use Aviary from DIY. I thought it was the perfect green to make some of those green leaves in there pop. I initially was going to do red, and then I thought that would be so limiting. At least with green, it will fit in all your fall decor. And I just go around, apply one even coat to all four legs, let them dry, and then I am going to come back and add some distressing. Typically, I like to use a wet distressing. I decided to just use my sanding block because I had it readily available and it made a mess. And this is why I typically like to use a wet rig and just wet distress back areas where I want the wood exposed a bit. So if you haven't done that before, I would highly recommend it. But I was out in my studio and this was so just sitting there. I'm like, I'm just going to use this. And it brought back memories as to why I do wet distressing. So now we're going to use Big Top to seal the legs. Anytime you're using any type of DIY paint, it can be reactivated with water. So you'll want to seal it with some type of top coat. And I'm using Big Top today. For project 2, I found this basket at the local Goodwill, and right away I saw it and I thought this would be a perfect fall box. So we're using DIY's paint called Summer Crush, and this is the perfect orange. It reminds me of a pumpkin, and I am painting just one nice even layer on the entire box. And then once it's dry, come back and clear coat it with Big Top. And I just like to apply just a real nice even layer of the Big Top to the entire box or piece that I'm painting. Let it dry really thoroughly, and then we're going to come back and we're going to finish it. So to finish this project, we are going to use the set Typesetting by IOD, and this is by far one of my favorite sets. It comes with uppercase, lowercase, and numbers. So there's so many possibilities, and I use this one all the time. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp fall on here, and really it's as simple as using the IOD permanent ink and the ink pad. And we're just going to cover the actual letters, lay it down, and then I rub the entire letter to try to get a nice even image on there. Now I noticed that the A, it was off a little bit, the F was off a little bit, so I just realigned and just kind of rubbed in the area where the ink did not cover. I then re-ink the L and stamp that on, and we have fall. For project 3, I found this sign, and I know many of you would have been like, home sweet home, I love it. I'm going to keep it as is. But honestly, I had a different vision for this sign. For starters, I am going to take White Swan from DIY, and I am going to add one nice even coat to the entire piece. And I actually, in the end, had to put 2 coats on, because the image of Home Sweet Home was peeking through, and when I add the decoupage paper, I did not want anything peeking through the decoupage paper. So now that my entire piece is completely dry, we are going to start applying the decoupage paper. What I like to do first is just kind of lay out my image. I also made a really nice crisp line on the top and the bottom, and that is where I'm going to eventually tear that paper off. I wish that this piece would have been just a little bit longer on each end, but I did come up with a solution to fix that as well. For starters though, what we're going to do is lay down the decoupage paper, and we're using liquid patina. So again, the process that I use is I start on one end and I put down just a really nice even coat of the liquid patina, and I like working in like small areas, and it makes the decoupage paper go on so much easier, especially when you're using a very large piece. So if you were going to use the entire piece, which is 20 by 30, this is the process that you would want to do. So start in small areas, lay down that light layer of, or that even layer of liquid patina. Go ahead and roll that back over, and what I do is I line everything up where I want it, and then I lift up the other side, and I just start with my fingers. And you can also use a ball of saran wrap to help with this, to make sure that there are no wrinkles. That helps to prevent any tearing in your paper. Because I'm not working with a huge piece, I'm just using my fingers, and I'm slowly just rubbing it, or lightly rubbing it, and laying it down. I continue to do this and as I work my way down. So make sure that the wrinkles are out, lay down more of the liquid patina, rub it, and like I said, just continue to work my way down until the entire piece is applied. Then I go back and I just make sure if there's any wrinkles, just kind of like slightly rub them out. Make sure that all the corners are adhered properly and the edges are. And then I take the liquid patina and I just rub it on the very edge where I want to have that excess paper off. Because there are these little, I guess they're like little pins on the ends, I could not use my sanding block, so I decided to just take and create like a little line of liquid patina. And by the paper getting wet like that, it very easily tears. So I lay that down, I let it absorb very well, I give it one more rub, and then I start tearing the paper. After that, I just take a little bit more of the liquid patina and start blending any of that paper that was a little torn and reapply it, and it blends right back in just with a little liquid patina. So now what I'm going to do is I decided to create a custom color. So the other night on my live, I created this gray. I ended up not using it. I had taken white swan and black velvet to create that gray, but I wanted this to be just a tad darker. So I used a little bit of that mixture and a little bit more of the black velvet, and I mixed that together to create that custom gray that is like in the actual image. What I'm going to do here is I want to take it and I want to paint it all the way around with my brush. And I want, if you actually look really close at the image, there's little speckles of gray in, or like kind of splattered around. And I want to create that same type of look with my paint and that paintbrush. So what I do is I just start on one corner and I just like kind of like stipple it all the way around with that brush. So I kind of use it just almost like how you stencil. That's the type of pressure and type of stroke that I did. And I just want it to be kind of random all the way around. Now I only did one coat and I'm going to let this dry really well. The other thing is I did it on the sides. I want it all to look like it is is part of the picture. And I go ahead then and I apply one even coat of Big Top. I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm gonna come back, and I decided to add a white wax. So I came up with the idea to add a white wax, and I'm using DIY's white wax. I always take the wax out and I put it on a different, like I put it on the top here. All the waxes and paints are all natural, so you definitely want to take them out of the container as to not contaminate it. So at first I start just rubbing it, and then I decide I really want that white to be around all these little tiny buttons, or whatever you want to call them, and just really be around those. So then I really start applying it to those. So after I apply it, then I take a piece of paper towel and I just rub it off, and I love how this turned out. I think that just having that white wax makes everything really pop. For project 4, I found this basket at Goodwill and I loved it. I loved the color of it and it reminded me of fall. I decided I was going to take this fall paper and try a technique that I have not done before. I wanted to apply decoupage paper to the basket, and I did not want to add the white background to it. I know that it would have made everything pop all the more. This is the first time I'm trying this, but I think in the end this turned out really awesome. So what I decided to do was cut out 3 different images, and I am going to basically decoupage them to the front of this basket. So we're using the liquid patina again, and what I'm doing is I lined it up how I wanted to have the main image, and I'm working my way from the bottom up. There is a lot of little grooves, little crevices on this basket, so I'm not sure if this was actually the best first time try on this, but what I did is I basically laid down the liquid patina. I then took the brush and I kind of just pressed it to make that whole image go into the basket. I then applied the next image and then the third image. Now the gourd kind of blends a little bit, but honestly, I think this turned out awesome and I absolutely love this and can't wait to try it again. So for my 5th and final project, I found this old vintage door and somebody had tried to upcycle it themselves. Initially, my vision here, I had gotten from Goodwill a long time ago. So I am going to reuse that fabric where it says believe, dream, and imagine. And I am going to use one of these embroidery hoops. So I'm going to repurpose that for a different project. Initially, I was going to show you what I was going to do here. I just decided to toss that idea, but I pulled that fabric off of the door, and now I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the door. So if you remember from that first piece of decoupage paper where the 3 images were, this is the 3rd image, and I thought right away the blue in this tractor really made the door pop. It didn't fit perfect, so I came up with the idea of kind of making it fit and be almost like three-dimensional. So I took my finger and I rubbed where the actual door, like that ridge was, and we're going to cut around it, and we are going to cut around the actual tires and make that almost like pop. So I just did a rough cut around all of it, and then we're going to start the whole process. So we're going to go back, get the liquid patina, and we are going to start working in sections. So we're going to start on the bottom, and we're going to just apply a little bit of the liquid patina down on the bottom and just a nice even layer. And then we're going to start working our way up until the whole piece is on the door. I'm going to just make sure that the tires are down as well on the sides, and there you have it. So I decided I wanted to add just one little thing. So I decided to go ahead and grab the letterpress set. And if you guys have been following along, you know that I am giving away this set, an ink pad and black ink, and 2 decoupage papers if you're over watching my lives on Facebook. Just remember, when you're watching the lives, winner, winner, chicken dinner is the first comment that you have to make to get entered. So what I decided to do is stamp on here Old Blue. I was trying to find out if there was like a model number for these tractors. My mom's like, you know, like old cars have model numbers. Is there model numbers for tractors? I said, I don't know, but I just felt like this needed something. So I decided to name this tractor Old Blue. So I'm using one of the fonts of letterpress, and I'm laying it out how I want it, taking a little bit of that backing, picking it up, and then just hand stamping the letters Old Blue. And I love how this turned out. I just think that I wanted to keep it simple, but add just something little to it. And I think I hit it out of the park. I love it, and I am definitely going to have it available either in one of my booths or at Cranberry Fest. So I'm going to finish this piece by just clear coating the entire piece with Big Top, and Big Top is a sealer, so I'm just sealing the whole piece with that. There was really no need to seal the Old Blue because it is a permanent ink. I just wanted to have everything have just a real nice clean sheen to it, and Big Top does that. So I'm doing that now, gonna let it dry, and the project is finished.
So what did you guys all think? What was your favorite item? Honestly, in the end, I loved Old Blue, guys. I just love turquoise, and I love that tractor. I can't wait to hear what your favorite item was or what you guys took from the video. And I hope you guys are all inspired for fall. So if you haven't been to my channel before, I'm all about DIYs, thrift hauls, thrift flips, and I like to bring you along in a day in the life of a small business owner. So if that is the type of channel that you do like, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notification. That way every Monday and Friday, you'll be notified when I do upload a video. And now I have been providing a whole lot more content on my other socials. So Mondays and Wednesdays, I have been doing lives over on Facebook. And I kind of talked about a little contest that's going on over there. So head on over there and check that out. Anyways, on Monday's video, I think I'm just gonna keep rolling with the fall, guys. I have a lot more ideas, and I'm really inspired to get a lot of stuff flipped for Cranberry Fest, which is coming up. I looked at the calendar and I'm like, it's gonna be here before you know it. So you guys have yourselves a great weekend, and we will see you Monday. Bye.